Here's today's First Word Daily Devotion.
On March the 10th, our reading takes us to Numbers chapter 4. And there are many details in Numbers chapter 4, but notice we're seeing many of the details center around the interactions for the most holy things. That is, these items that the Lord has consecrated for the tabernacle that are most holy. And all of this in Numbers chapter 4 is to remind us that God is holy. But notice this, we have this census taken of those aged 30 to 50, those aged 30 to 50. And what we can learn from that is that His holiness knows no boundaries. And He is the same throughout all of the years, throughout all of our years. We change. Can you imagine the change and the transition that occurs from a 30-year-old to a 50-year-old? But what's the constant throughout all of life? The constant throughout all of life is the Lord our God. Now, in particular, just to point out, in this is verse 15. Notice how specific this is and how they are to treat the ways of the Lord. They are to remember, and when Aaron and his sons have finished covering the sanctuary and all the furnishings of the sanctuary as the camp sets out, after that the sons of Kohath shall come to carry these. Look at this. But they must not touch the holy things, lest they die. Now pay attention there, because that's going to become important as we continue on reading a particular time later when someone touches a holy item and is killed. But we'll get there when we get there. But let's turn our attention now to Mark chapter 14. And this is an important passage because we're moving towards the crucifixion, and we'll read about the crucifixion tomorrow. But notice this, verse 36, and he said, Abba, Father, all things are possible for you. Remove this cup from me, yet not what I will, but what you will. Now, that's important. What's going on here? Here is Jesus entering into the depth of our depravity. He is entering into the depth of our rebellion, and He is overcoming our rebellion by His willingness. Where we were unwilling, Jesus was willing. And so you have the key phrase to understanding what's going on there. There's not a rupture in wills. It's not as if the Son is doing something against His will. The key to understanding what's going on there is He says, yet, not what I will. Yet. So in other words, in that one word, yet, Jesus enters into the depths of our rebellion, and He overcomes our rebellion by obedience. Now look at what happens here. You have this wonderful instant of Peter being corrected, but Jesus says, verse 49, day after day, I was with you in the temple teaching, and you did not seize me. But look at the emphasis of the text. The reason we read the whole Bible is so that we can understand phrases like this. But let the Scriptures be fulfilled. Let the Scriptures be fulfilled. Now, what Scriptures are being fulfilled? Well, Mark points to, or Jesus takes us to, some of the Scriptures. Look at verse 62. Jesus said, I am, and you will see the Son of Man seated at the right hand of power, coming with the clouds of heaven. Now, that's a reference to Daniel. And so here we have the eschatological, or the end-time movement of what's going on in the crucifixion. We see Jesus and His kingdom coming in the crucifixion. Now, that's going to become important to us as we read tomorrow's reading, but we'll get there. Let's pay attention here in our text today. Mark chapter 14, look at verse 51. A young man followed Him with nothing but a linen cloth about his body, and they seized him, but he left the linen cloth and ran away naked. Now, who on earth is this man who shows up in the garden? And he's seized and runs away and leaves his clothes behind. Who in the world is this? Well, we're not really sure, but I just want to plant this in your mind. Could it be that verse 51 and 52 is an eyewitness account? Could it be that this man that's not named, could it be that this is Mark himself? Anyway, we just don't know. But let's remember our prayer here. Let's close today in Psalm 65. It's important for us to look at Psalm 65 and to pray along with our Lord, and to remember that He listens to our prayer. He responds to our prayer. Look at Psalm 65. O you who hear prayer, to you shall all flesh come. When iniquities prevail against me, you atone for our transgressions. Blessed is the one you choose and bring near to dwell in your courts. We shall be satisfied with the goodness of your house, the holiness of your temple. By awesome deeds you answer us with righteousness, O God of our salvation, the hope of all the ends of the earth and of the farthest seas, the one who by his strength established the mountains, being girded with might, who stills the roaring of the seas, the roaring of the waves, the tumult of all the peoples, so that those who dwell at the ends of the earth are in awe at your signs. You make the going out of the morning and the evening to shout for joy. This is the God who hears our prayers, the God of our salvation. Hopefully today you will sing his song, a song of salvation.